Hi everybody, it's Az here from HeelvsBabyface with my most complicated World of Warcraft secret to date, and it's taken me to the End Time Dungeon. Now I've defeated the first two bosses and I'm through to the Bronze Dragonshire, and this is where we're going to escape, because what I want to do in today's video is get to an empty Dalaran that is outside of the instance. So, just run up the top to the back of the wall here, and we're going to do a couple of jumps. One, to a ledge just about there, and then secondly, to the top. Now, this is relatively complicated, so don't panic if you keep failing. Just keep trying, keep trying. Eventually, as you can see by the fact that I did scooch the footage on, you will be able to do it. And the more that you get that sort of bite in the wall, the easier this will be to do time and time again. Now, believe it or not, that is the first part of the video already done. We have now escaped from the End Time Dungeon. We can explore Dragonblight at our leisure. Go to the Wormrest Temple, have a little look around. Remember, some of the aesthetics have changed with it being destroyed. And then head on over to New Hearthglen. There's some amazing stuff here. It looks absolutely fantastic. An absolute roleplayer's dream. But the purpose of this video is to get there. That empty Dalaran in the sky. So, how do we go about doing this? Well, head on over to the Wrathgate and go right to the top of the Alliance section. When you get past the top tower, leap off and then use our first Goblin Glider of the day. Now, every jump that I do in this video is going to be with a Goblin Glider only. There's going to be no rocket boosts. There's going to be no parachutes. People say it can't be done. Let's see if I can prove them wrong. So next up, just run up the side of the to the top of the hill here and leap off. And we want to go to the top of the second hill, just on the right-hand side. Coming out of shot, coming back into shot now. And then I'm just tweaking the Goblin Glider so I can land. From here, the next point is to leap on over, use another Goblin Glider, and land on one of these lava ledges that you can see in front of me. And then the purpose from there is to run up the other lava ledge, get right to the top here. From here, use another Goblin Glider to land on this ledge down there. Sound complicated? Believe it or not, this is actually the easy stuff to start the video off with. So, with that said, and Goblin Gliders off cooldown, sponsored by Goblin Glider, jump off and then land at whatever ledge you want to do, however high, however low, however you feel more comfortable. But if you are more confident in your ability to control a glider, this is a much more simple way of doing it. Leap off where we originated from and then just turn it around. You'll actually be able to hit the ledge straight away. Run up to the top, and then what I'm going to do, because I want a little bit more height, because I'm not using rocket boots or anything, I'm just going to jump up the ledge here, and then there we go. If I just turn myself around, our next port of call is just peeking out there. So wait for your Goblin Glider to come off cooldown, and then we're going to jump on through. When you do make your jump, just try and hug the side of the mountain, because if you get too far out, you might just miss the ledge. That's not what you want to do. But when you do land, you can now mount up for a little bit. Now, don't go heading over to the left. No, come back on yourself, go up the side, and then go up the left-hand pathway on this mountain. And then when you get to the top, hang a right. You'll notice there's a couple of jagged rocks, but they're easy to jump over. Get to your top point here and then turn around. You're going to see the next target of our Goblin Glider, because you can either land here or here. I'm going to go to the right hand side one. It actually works out best if you go to the left hand side one, because when I did the right hand side jump, I barely made it. Now I have tried this a couple of times. When I did the left hand side one, I got through absolutely fine. So upon landing, mount up once more, and then we're going to do quite an interesting bit now. A fair bit of it on the mount, but there's going to be a little bit of jiggery-pokery, as there always is with these kind of things. So when you get here, just hang a right, and then we're just going to go all the way through until we get to this rock area here. Go up, go to the left of it, and then come back on yourself, and then we just want to just get ourselves over here. Now get to the top, turn a slight angle onto there, and then leap. And then from there, you should be able just to run straight up. Just be careful here, because you are on a mountain. You do go relatively quickly. If you go a little bit too quick there, you might find yourself flying off the edge. Now, when you get to this point, our next purpose is to jump over. So this is another one of those times where we're going to have to wait for the Goblin Glider to come off cooldown. Just try and get as high up there as you possibly can before the horse stops, your mount stops, and then leap on through to the other side. Another little tricky jump now. Mount up and then just start to go up the side here. But what you want to do is you just need to angle yourself, because we're going to have to jump onto a ledge. See where I've just come up? Notice how I'm just shimmying myself across here. That's because you can get your mount to a certain point. If I turn it around to face that ledge that we want to jump onto, my mount's just pointing up in the air. That's going to give me the elevation I need, bang, to make the jump. From there, you can just dismount, press your spacebar, and fly up the side of the mountain. Now, we're going to run right to the top because... oh boy, we're going to have to assault the Wrathgate now. Yes, we've gone around the outside of it. You can see the areas down below. But now we need to head on over to the very far side. So, mount up once again, just to give you that extra little bit of elevation. And just because I'm constantly using the Goblin Glider doesn't mean that you can't use rocket boots and parachutes. It's just that I want to see if I can do everything with a Goblin Glider only. Leap off. And then head on over as far to the right as you can possibly go. But we're getting to the ledge. You've got to make sure that you hit the ledge. So don't try and get too far out of reach. If you're feeling as if it's just getting away from you, turn into the gate, land on the ledge, and you can just run it. I'm just trying to go as far as I possibly can for convenience. And it looks like we're blocked here. But we're not. No. Line yourself up straight as a die with this battlement. And then you jump and press forward once. And then again, and again, and again. We're now going to climb up these massive spikes by very gradually doing these jumps. Correct yourself if you need to. And also, if your class does have any sort of self-resurrection mechanic, make sure that it's attached to your character, because if you do go slightly off skew here and plummet to your death, you're actually going to res up in the Dragon Blight Graveyard. And that's the real Dragon Blight Graveyard in Northrend. You're not going to spawn in the graveyard in the Caverns of Time or anything like that. No. So you've got to be very, very careful indeed. Just keep on adjusting yourself so it looks like you're nice and straight. Jump up, and it just takes one push forward. That's all you need. Just one push forward, and then you'll find your step. Now, you might see, you might be saying, why do we have to go this high up? If I just pan the camera behind me, because we need to hit that ledge right there. And as you can clearly see, I'm not high enough to do so. So I need to just, again, keep on jumping. Although the angle looks as if I can't make it, I can. So jump, one step forward, jump, one step forward. This is the most nerve-wracking thing I've ever done in the World of Warcraft, but it's insanely good fun when you do it, I've got to confess. So keep on going, just keep on going up as high as you really can, as high as you think you need to go, and trust me, I think I'm just kind of going, yeah, a little bit more. Maybe a little bit more, yeah. You do have, because when you use that Goblin Glider, the elevation is going to go down. A rocket booster gives you more through momentum, but a Goblin Glider, it starts to decline almost immediately. So you do have to get pretty high up for this one. I think that's good enough for me. So here we go. Now, I nearly psyched myself out here. I'd lined myself up so that when I came to make my jump, I just fell off. But thankfully, because I was that high up, I could still initiate the Goblin Glider and make the leap over to the platform. So, we're going to head on over to the right-hand side now. And, as you'll probably see when we go over the crest of the hill, you can just start to see a little bit of Dalaran. Do be careful if you're on the mount. Look, I flew off and nearly went over the edge there. And if I had, it would have been game over. I would have had to start everything from scratch. So keep on running through. You've got plenty of area with which to go. There's nothing that should affect you now. And then follow it round to where I'm going. Now, when you get to the top here, what we need to do... Oh, shall I have a quick look at Dalaran? No. What you need to do is go there. And this is one of those areas that you think, nah, you can't do this on a Goblin Glider. You've got to have rocket boots for this one. Well, you would actually be wrong. You can still use a Goblin Glider to get there. What I did is I just mounted up, made sure I got my trajectory right, and then leapt off the edge and initiated the Goblin Glider. It took me just to the crest, but that's enough. That's all you need. The crest of that hillside, and then I could just run straight up. When you do that, mount back up once again. Just keep on going up. You might have to just do a few little jumps. The hillside might resist you a little bit. And then you're going to come to another point where you think it's another dead end. Unless we leap off. But, oh, there it is. But what we're going to do now is turn around. And yes, it's time to do another wad of climbing. Now, there is going to come a point where you can't climb any higher on this. So just keep on going up and up and up and up and up, and you will eventually get to it. But when we do get to the top, what I want to do is just Goblin Glider down to the platform below. So I've reached the point of no return. Just going to angle myself, leap off, and there we go. So, going to run back up the side of the mountain again, head on over slightly to the right-hand side. You're going to have to spam the spacebar here to find the bite point, fly on up, and then next, we're heading over to that platform there. Now, I'm going to get on my mount, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to back my fanny up a wee bit. So you just see this little ledge that's pointing my horse upwards. That's going to give me a slight extra bit of elevation because I'm using the GG. And then whoosh, just angle it round and I land on the secondary platform. My goodness. Although it looks as if you can leap off and get there, trust me, you can't because you've got to go quite high up on Dalaran. So next up, just change the angle slightly. This platform here. So run, leap off. Got a little bit too much height, so I'm just pushing myself out and then turning into the rock face. So it's going to land me bang. There we go, on top of the platform that I needed to be. From here, we're just going to have to Goblin Glide round the corner and land on this face here. And then we'll be able to leap on up. And remember, this is where we're trying to land in Dalaran. So we are clearly nowhere near as high as we need to be. So with everything off cooldown again, leap off, spin it round, boom, there we go. Now you can mount up once more here. You should be fine to do so. You can run up if you want, but there's no real need to. You might find a little bit of resistance from the mountainside. Just hit that spacebar, spam that jump, and you'll be okay. Now, oh boy, we're getting close, aren't we? But this is not where we need to be. No, we need to get higher. Now, be very careful. I'm going to show you what not to do. Now, this rock in front of us, go to the left-hand side, not the right. If you go to the right, ooh. First of all, you can't jump up there. And second of all, if you're on a mount, that momentum nearly took you flying off the edge. But if you just stick to the left-hand side of it, there you go. You'll get some bite and off you go. And then you'll get to this point here. And although it'd be marvellous if we could go higher, you can't go any higher at all. I've tried. No, it's this rock that we're going to have to use now to leap across to the other side. So with once more everything off cooldown, I'm mounted up again. Leap, Goblin Glider, and then twizzle myself just around that rock. And now we're going to get to the point that people say you can't Goblin Glider from here over to Dalaran. Now, if you're using rocket boots, you can actually jump down to that platform below, but because I need an extra bit of elevation, I'm just going to sneak myself a little bit higher on this rock face here, just by doing a couple of jumps. It's really easy, you didn't miss anything. You just have to turn the camera and just jump a couple of times. So this is the moment of truth. Goblin Glider, a little bit more height than the rocket boost area. Remember, we have to land on this level here, not the green around it. There's no way to get into Dalaran from the green around it, and if you land on the red, you're fucked anyway. So no, we need to land on that. It's looking so far so good, but then you notice how quickly you are descending, and you're thinking, oh my goodness, am I gonna make it? Am I just gone a little bit too low? Am I gonna hit the lip and fall down? No, did it. So you can do this with a goblin glider and no rocket boots, no parachute. So I was absolutely thrilled to be able to have done that. Kind of gave me a big buzz on the inside because I ain't got no rocket boots, bitch. So there we go. So you can now mount up in your empty Dalaran, your own personal empty Dalaran. There are a couple of invisible walls though. If you try and go into this district here, you will hit a wall. You can't seem to get past. No problem though. And then when you head on over to the left hand side, you'll hit another one. But you can follow this one round. You can just sneak, there you go, sneak round that one there. And it will allow you to pop inside the horde area, bizarrely enough. But again, you hit another invisible wall. Now the invisible wall's there because I think the world kind of like ends. So that's where everything's kind of coming to a close there. But we can go over to Crassus Landing. That seems to be okay for us to have a wee bit of an explore around. No NPCs, no nothing. There, you can see where the world's cut off, can't you? And then Eversong Wood down below. You can just notice a little bit of Dragon Blight. So back inside. Let's see if we can head down into the sewers. Yes, we can. So let's just go down a little bit further. How much can we go in here? Do we call these the Dalaran sewers now, or do we call this the rogue class hall? I've got to say, I know I'm not no bitchy comment here, but I think this looks way better than what they've got on Legion Alpha so far for the sewers of Dalaran, which is quite a change. You know, most things seem to get better when they put high-res graphics and tweak the lighting and such, but I think Dalaran sewers actually looks better in its original format. And then we've got this, well, what I'd imagine is some sort of waste tunnel, or would have been a waste tunnel. I'm kind of a little bit concerned about going forward, just in case I fall straight through it. So I think I was as brave as I wanted to be there. We saw the exit point of it. So coming back inside now, and then you can just head on up, and I think we can exit from this way, which will take us right back to where we originally landed, in Dalaran. So there we go. Wow, what a great secret. RPers, again, you could have your own personal Dalaran, should you wish to. The Alliance area. Let's have a pop in here as well. No portals or anything like that at all. And then there's Aurelia. Yeah, it's Aurelion and Aurelia. So yeah, plenty of things for you to get involved with. Plenty of things for you to see here. It was a really, really complex one to do, but so satisfying at the same time. And no Ronin spouting off bollocks to get you angry. So there we go. I really do hope that you enjoyed the vid. If you did, do give it a thumbs up and also subscribe. Follow me on social media and Twitch for live streaming. Those links are all in the description down below. And I'll be back with some more stuff very soon. You take care, everybody. Bye-bye.